Summer break means more time for your teen to spend online and sadly with it a greater chance that they'll have a negative experience here. Today's teens do have to learn to navigate the online social pressure, bullying, predators, and privacy concerns. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and with that, the president and CEO of Crime Stoppers GNO, Darlene Costanza, joins me now with some tips to help avoid these issues as teens prepare for downtime. Good morning.
Good morning. And for us, I mean, as at least at my age, we never had these issues to be concerned with. But we know that we're seeing so many studies that are showing the more time that students or teens or anyone stays online, the greater the chance of having negative mental health concerns because of what they're seeing. And if a child, is spending 3 to 4 hours, which is very common, could be 5 hours a day, just imagine the messaging that's hitting them. Just looking at how the internet works and how when if you're going to search something, it's going to continue to feed you those types of stories or those ads. And as teens, that can just have a terrible effect on, oh, I'm already depressed, well now I'm going to be significantly more. And then also comparing yourself to what you're seeing online with your friends. I mean, always, it's, oh, how can people be so great? Or look at that, I could never live up to that. So we really have to have conversations with our kids early on to kind of set some boundaries and set some realistic expectations of how do you digest this information.
Yeah, you're right about that, and that you've got a list of potential concerns here, from bullying to trying to keep up with peer pressure and whatnot. Several things you say that parents need to be mindful of.
Definitely, and we always want to start with our teens to make sure that they understand that, even starting with your profile, be careful what you're posting with your profile. Don't put things that are too, that can identify where you live. I mean, the photos that you're putting up in your profile. Understand that it's going to a mass of strangers, and you never know what those strangers could do with that information. And certainly for kids, when they're putting information that they could be bullied about, and we know it's happening. I mean, when school stops, it doesn't mean bullying stops. We need to make sure that we're, careful on how you're responding back, and certainly opening yourself up to that. Hate speech. I mean, you will see things where kids will just post, or any individuals could post hateful comments to you. And as an adult, that's hard to read. But as a student or a child, how do we comprehend that? How do we make sure that we separate ourselves, knowing that those comments are not real when it's really dividing yourself? And it's taking those healthy moments to have those conversations, saying, okay, how do we take a break from that? So many times we tell our students, we have a reporting app that they can report extreme bullying. They can report threats, any type of threats, predators. I mean, you're looking at students who are online more. You're opening yourself up to possible predators. I mean, that's what these people do, whether they're committing predators against you for assault or different cases, or even crimes, selling drugs or things. The internet has been a place where people go. So having the conversation about who's talking to you, be careful on who you're talking with. It's not always the person you think it is. Stay within your actual friendship group where you know the individuals personally that you're having these conversations with. And certainly if you have any, gut feeling that this doesn't seem right, let someone know.
Right.
And we always say to let your parents know, let a trusted adult know, but a lot of times our kids go to their friends. Lord, let's not go to the internet for that help, but let's go to somebody you actually know and can have that conversation with that may assist. We also see that our kids are doing, and adults, we do all this mindless scrolling on, whether it's Facebook, kids are on TikTok, they're on YouTube, guys are on YouTube, Snapchat. Make sure that when we are spending those hours just scrolling through that, and I think someone told me that's called doom scrolling, but you want to make sure that those kids are taking that break, but also again setting up that realistic mental attitude about just because I'm seeing it, it doesn't necessarily mean it's it's me.
Yeah,
it's defining me.
An important conversation to have. Some parents may feel uncomfortable talking to their kids about the privacy on social media, but you have to, because you just never know.
Definitely. It's time now to have those conversations so they do, when they get into these situations, they have that safe place to turn.
All right, ma'am. Thank you. We always appreciate your insight here. And of course, for more information on how you can help Crime Stoppers, go to Crime Stoppers at crimestoppersgno.org?
Or Safe Schools Louisiana, safeschoolsla.com, or there's an app, Safe Schools Say It Here, Louisiana.
There we go. Thank you,
you.
Darlene. We do appreciate it.